Today's message from Reverend Christian Sorensen was recorded on Mother's Day, May 8th, 2016, and it's titled, The Fertile Abundance of the Divine Feminine. Visit us sometime at www.seasidecenter.org, or you can join us in Encinitas, California sometime, where great music and a spirited message, a joyful, loving community always await you.
Feel the joy, feel the peace, and the comfort of home, 'cause all are welcome here. Yes, all are welcome
Wow. Here we go. Let's see. This morning's message is the fertile abundance of the divine feminine. And when I saw that, I went, really? What was I thinking? It's like, I could have come up with something a little sexier for Mother's Day, like in the beginning, mom, mind over manifestation, the acronym, MOM. Mom, the wisdom of the womb, WOW. Wow. Flip it over, mom. Yeah. But like the abundance of the divine feminine, fertile. But I do get where I was coming from, because I am very excited about the rising of the feminine energy in our world that is so needed at this point in our life. And as you heard me talk about last week, I'm thrilled to see what's going on within our culture in terms of the feminine energy slipping into patriarchal spots that have just been dominated by that yang kind of energy, like the medical world that is now moving to more holistic and integrative kind of medicine, or as I shared in the corporate world where it's been about dominance and competition and control, it is now about cooperation and creativity and respect and collaboration and the sacred rights of animals being more honored, and the progress in the women's rights, and in the gay rights, the embracing of that as an expression of life, and the racial discrimination beginning to not be as prevalent as it once was, or in the physical world of exercise, you're beginning to see yoga and Reiki. Not beginning, it proliferates here in Encinitas. We got more yoga studios than gas stations, which is probably a very good thing, right? In the psychology world, you got humanistic psychology, you got the Jungian, you got the shadow work, transhuman personal, who knows how far it goes out in the physical science of the physics of neurobiology. You've got ecology. It's just, there is a rising that is going on. And what I want us to get is that this field in which we're operating is fertile. It is rich. There's infinite possibilities that are seeking to birth itself. There's an abundance of opportunities. The time is right. The time is now. And as you begin to allow yourself to be in that place, the Spirit begins to unfold. In the Bible, 28th chapter, Matthew, it says, I will be with you always. That's, and then I like kind of the play on that. It's like God couldn't be everywhere, so he created moms to keep an eye on us. And so the Spirit's expression is coming through you. But what's interesting is that we are brought into this world through a tribe or through a clan that kind of indoctrinates us. As I started this morning about moms, we weren't given a manual, we were given a mom. And so we get some of the insights from our clan. And so Carolyn Meese, a wonderful writer on mysticism and entering the castle and all sorts of profound things, she wrote about that, where she said that our respective tribes introduce us to life in this world. They teach us that the world is either safe or dangerous. Like, don't talk to strangers, or, go meet everybody. Whether this world is abundant or poverty-ridden, educated or ignorant, it's a place to take from or to give to. And they transmit their perceptions about the nature of reality itself. For instance, that this life is only one of many, or that this life is all there is. So we come into this world with our propensity towards a particular tack or perspective. But we have the opportunity, once we get to the edge, to begin to look over the fence and realize just beyond the edge is the infinite. And there are other possibilities. But they have to come through the filter of our awareness, and we're the ones that have to stretch. And so asking and being curious is a good thing. I always got a kick out of the story of the priest and the rabbi that were traveling on an airplane together, and they were sitting next to one another. And, it's a long flight, and so the priest leans over to the rabbi and says, I understand, within your culture that you're not supposed to eat pork. Have you ever had any pork? And the rabbi thought about it. He said, yes, I must confess that I did have a ham sandwich once. Yeah. So he said, okay, your secret's safe with me. No. Then the rabbi kind of leaned over to the priest and said, well, I understand in your philosophy that celibacy is a very important aspect. Have you ever participated in the pleasures of the flesh before? And, the priest thought about it and said, yes, I have to confess I did. And the rabbi said, secret's good with me. And he just sat back and he thought a little bit longer, and he leaned over and said, sure beats a ham sandwich, doesn't it? Yeah. You're the one who's got to push the edges in your life a little bit. And there are an abundance of opportunities that are waiting to express itself. And what I've come to recognize more and more, no matter where I am in my life, it is the fertile soil. It is holy ground. And it can be at any moment in my life, whether it's a challenge or a joy, a tension or ease, that it can be at any moment an encounter with the divine. It can be a divine encounter right where I am. There is no place that spirit is not. And that is the beauty about spirit being everywhere. It's right where I am. And so I'm the one who gets to the edge and says, you know what? I'm going to discover a little bit more and see if there is presence here also. And you'll come to discover, yes, God is here in this moment. And if I'm experiencing pain in my life and hurt in my world, I'll assure you the Creator, life itself, doesn't want you to continue to do what's hurting you. It's a great indication that, you know what, you have found the edge there and it's time to retack, to do something different, to open up to a new possibility, to look over the fence and to be curious again like that child. Blessed are those that are curious, for they shall experience an exciting life. I made that up, but it should be in there. It could be one of those Beatitudes. Ray Bradbury said, stuff your eyes with wonder. Stuff your eyes with wonder. Spirit is all around. We are living in this fertile field of abundant expression, which is the divine womb of the divine mother, presence of God that is seeking to birth itself. There's a lot up there. You should see what I'm seeing. It's good. I just have to pick and choose this one or that one. I think I'm going to go with this one. No, I'm going to go with that one. So I'm going with this one. It has to do with a tribe that was known for every time they did a rain dance, it would rain. Now, doing a rain dance is not unusual for indigenous cultures, but what was unusual is every time they did it, it rained. So the anthropologists were very excited to find out what their secret was, and as they studied the different cultures, they found that what this one tribe did is that they started to dance, and they didn't stop dancing until it rained. Now that's a good trick. You can apply that to your visions, to your sales. I hear people say, I never come back without a sale. They may not come back for days, but they stay out until they make that sale because it is abundant with opportunities that are available because it is this fertile place. And so you've got to be willing to come with what you got. You got that? You got to be willing to come with what you got. You have what it takes at this point where you are in your life. I love the story of a Buddha-to-be was incarnating as a little parrot in a rainforest. And this rainforest had caught on fire. And let's say like the size of Fort McMurray. And our heart goes out to those folks up there in the tar sands. But there was this fire, and this little parrot's friends were like stuck in the fire, and they were burning and didn't know what a little parrot could do. All he could do was swoop into the water, douse himself in the water in the river, come out, and he would shake off the water on his friends that were caught in the fire and the fear, and he would go back and in the water and just did this over and over. And the rain god was so just touched that she started to cry. and the rain put out the fire. You know, it's up to you to decide what it is you're going to align with, what it is you're going to plant in this fertile field of the divine feminine. You know, it's but instead of experiencing peace and pleasure, people are experiencing the stress and the struggle, and then inevitably the opportunities are missed, problems mount, relationships are stressed out, and people just fall back into a routine to keep things going. And like it or not, what happens, people fall into that routine to make things happen, is they get used to it. Like, that's yuck. You know, but that's what happens, is that people fall into this pattern and they get used to it, and they choose not to look over the fence or ask the person next to them, you know, what it is they are seeking, and they forget about that curiosity of what is greater and what is possible. There's something inside of them that has closed it down. I love the story that Alan Cohen recently shared about these two guys who are out fishing in the lake. And they're fishing, and all of a sudden there's this girl that comes by, caught in the rapids, screaming for help, looking like she's going to drown. And one of the guys jumps in, and they pull her out, and they resuscitate her, and they get her back to life, and, you know, get her up and going so she's okay, and they go back to fishing. And as they're fishing, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes later, here comes a guy down the river, stuck in the rapids, drowning, about ready to die. One of the guys jumps in, they pull him out, they resuscitate him. They call, 911. They come, they rescue the guy, and they're sitting there a little while later. And here comes another person bouncing down the rapids, getting ready to drown. They pull him out, and they figure, what's going on? And so they decide to walk up the river, 200 or 300 yards up the river. There is a bridge, and they notice this young lady walking across the bridge, and there's a crazy man sitting on the middle of the bridge who gets up and he grabs this young girl, and these guys come and rescue her, but he was going to throw her in the river like he had done those previous three individuals. And what I want us to get is, we got this crazy person sitting in our head that whenever there comes this good idea coming across our bridge from the infinite into the form, coming from the ethereal into the relative, all of a sudden this crazy person in our head saying, it can't be done, over you go, splash. Do you have a crazy person in your head? Hey, you don't have to fess up. This was kind of rhetorical, but that's okay. But do you have that crazy person in there that is throwing over those good ideas and sabotaging that which is trying to come directly from the divine download into your experience? You gotta go get rid of them. Kick them out and say, you cannot be around. Because what? I got more space for a spirit to show up in ways I haven't even begun. Because I'm connected. Right? I've got the pedigree. I have been given the heritage of the kingdom of this divine feminine expression of spirit that wants to have its way, and I'm going to birth it in my life. There is abundance here. The field is fertile. The possibilities are infinite, and I'm going to just move up. It's not like I got to go from this grade to that grade. It's like there is from the lower realm or the lower vibration, the lower frequency, it is a natural blending from one to the next to the next. When I came in this morning, you probably maybe saw it when you woke up, about 5:45, there was this spectacular, vibrant rainbow going right into the ocean. Looked like this big round tube of colors. It was red, orange, yellow, green, blending into the blue, blending into the indigo, blending into the violet. And what I recognized is there wasn't really a clear distinction. There was a blending from the lower to the higher or the higher to the lower. There was a flow there. Take a sheet of paper. Ever have lined paper? You got paper, but it's got these lines, but it kind of all blends from the higher to the lower. It's all there. But what happens is so often people will decide to play in the lower frequency. A struggle, difficulty, stress, blame, challenge, anger, blame. I could go on, but I'm not going to. Rather than moving up, because there is no difference other than the consciousness or the distinction that we're making within our mind. It's like the power that's coming into this building. We have got this download of electricity that is, I can light the halogens that are above our head, but we're not, because we don't do that when it's light out. But it could, up there, But that same power could be turning on these 500-watt lights that are blazing upon me right now. It's the same energy that just moves through a different filter. Or it can light the fluorescence in the hallway or the parking lot that has even more power. It's the same power, but it is choosing how it is the distinction or differentiated into form. In our life, we have got this power that is infinite, and you get to decide whether you're going to play at the high frequency or the low frequency. It really doesn't care whether you want a fluorescent or a halogen or whatever it is those things are shining. They're bright. We get to decide what we're going to become excited about. That's one of the keys here, is getting excited. Oprah, that's Oprah Winfrey, she says, passion is energy. Get excited. Put your focus on what it is you get excited about. You got that? That's how you get that energy moving. Passion is energy, and put your focus on what it is you get excited about. That's how it comes into form. Andrew Carnegie, the great steel magnate, he said, anything that the mind holds on to and emphasizes, whether it be revered or feared, will immediately begin to close itself in what is the most convenient and appropriate form. Got that? Whatever it emphasizes, whether it's revered or feared, it will begin to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. That's the way it works. Ernest Holmes, founder of religious science, he talks about the subjective field, the law, that creative medium, the feminine principle, that which is able to receive the impress. This fertile field is always able to deliver, but it must be impregnated. It must have the seed. It must have the thought. It must have the word implanted that shows up in the body, in the form, in the expression. It outpictures that way. There was a hospital, it was a mental hospital. It was in the state of Illinois, outside of the city, down the main state highway. It was out of town. And so when people would go visit, it was a toll road. And this was a long while ago. And so as they got off, there was nobody to collect money. There was a machine, you throw in your 50 cents, and then you keep on going. No big deal. But what was interesting is these doctors that worked in this clinic or this institute recognized, not everybody put the money in. Why wouldn't they? But, you're not watching, why wouldn't I, right? But what they also discovered is that the patients that were not putting the money in were the ones that were taking longer to heal. And those that put the 50 cents in all of a sudden healed quicker and swifter. Being in integrity, being open, being congruent with that flow of spirit just helps facilitate the healing process in our life. That's how it works. That's what it does. You want to be that clear channel. And here we are on this Mother's Day. I love Mother's Day because it reminds me to connect with Mom. But one of the things James von Praagh talks about that I find interesting is that he notes how people will often say that they thought about their mom today, thinking that they are the originator of the thought. And he likes to ask them, and what makes you think that your mom is not the originator of the thought? And that you are connected because in that spiritual realm, your body is in the realm of thought energy and you are connected. And people will tell him, well, would you tell my mom I love her? And he likes to say, you tell her yourself. Because in that spiritual realm, that body is thought and your thought is connected. It is through your heart that you are connected, which is why I like to say on Mother's Day, take some time to connect at that heart place. Come up with some of those memories and feel that presence. You'll come to a knowingness that is beyond belief. You got that? Knowingness versus belief. Belief is, I think this is, I hope it's so. It's, knowing is so much deeper. See, for you to get to that knowing place, you got to not carry the extra stuff. Like I didn't throw in 50 cents. Or I'm not holding blame. It's not them. I'm just a clear conduit for spirit to be known, and it's in this knowingness I'm choosing to hook up with Mom today. Love transcends time and space. I so wish my mom was in this world, but she's not. But it doesn't mean that she's not with me. She's as close as a heartbeat. We're only a heartbeat away, a thought away. And it's my responsibility to be receptive to her thoughts of me, as well as for me to be filled with her thoughts. I was blessed to grow up in a happy family, a family that actually worked, where, we laughed, we told jokes, we ate dinner together every night at 5 o'clock. We all made it to the dinner table, and we supported one another and communicated. And it's like I was embarrassed to share this in my early days of ministry because everybody seemed to be coming from dysfunction. But then I recognized it's part of my responsibility to stand up and say, a happy, healthy family is okay to have, and you can, there are some out there. And I was blessed to be part of that. And as I go into parenting, I just look at the way my mom and my dad loved me, and I just wish I could be half the parent, to Trevor that they were to me in my life. My dad taught me the best thing you can do for a child is love their mom. And so I do my best to love Callie with everything I've got. And my mom told me, 4-letter words really do count, love, hugs, care, kisses, it's just, they count. But you've got to take time to be present for that. You've got to take time to get out of your activity and be congruent with the activity of your heart and your soul and your spirit. I wish my mom was still in this world. I do. I would love nothing more than to be able to hold my mom's hand and walk along the beach again with her, or put my arm around her. But what I'm left with, I can remember, is the last time I put my arm around my mom at our house. She had just bought Callie and I a purple couch for our new home, and little Trevor was sitting on her lap. And I still remember going and putting my arm around her and just saying, "Mom, I love you," and her looking at me and just saying, "This feels so good." And I can't put my arm around her, but what I can feel is that moment when she said, "This feels so good." I can see her eyes, and I totally experience the energy of that moment, which is still real with me here today. And so the moms remind us that we are born into a realm of infinite possibilities, or a fertile field that is abundant for us to differentiate what is possible in this world, in this life. And so I just want to honor moms today by ending with, I used to have moms stand, but then all those that didn't quite fit the typical category of mom would get upset. Or they stopped coming, which was even worse for the next year. And so I put together a list that honors a bunch of moms. I'm not asking you to stand. I'm just asking you to open your heart. It's kind of long, but that's so many mothering expressions, and I don't even have the pet mom that Christina mentioned in here next year. I just want to end with this. To those who gave birth this year to their first child, we celebrate you. And to those who lost a child this year, we mourn with you. And to those who are in the trenches with little ones every day and wear the badge of food stains, we appreciate you. And to those who experience loss through miscarriage, failed adoptions, or running away, we mourn with you. And to those who walk the hard path of infertility, fraught with the pokes and the prods, the tears and the disappointments, we walk with you. And forgive us if we say foolish things. We don't mean to make this harder than it is. And to those who are foster moms, mentor moms, and spiritual moms, we need you. And to those who have warm and close relationships with your children, we celebrate you. And to those who have disappointment and heartache and distance with your children, we sit with you. And to those who lost their mothers this year, we grieve with you. And to those who experienced abuse at the hands of your mother, we acknowledge your experience. And to those who lived through driving tests, medical tests, and overall testing of motherhood, we are better for having you in our midst. And to those who are single and long to be married and mothering your own children, we mourn that life has not turned out the way you long for it to be. And to those who step-parented, we walk with you on these complex paths. And to those who envisioned lavishing love on grandchildren, yet that dream is not to be, we grieve with you. And to those who will have emptier nests in this coming year, we grieve and rejoice with you. And to those who place children up for adoption, we commend you for your selflessness And remember how you hold that child in your heart. And to those who are pregnant with new life, both expected and surprising, we anticipate with you. For this Mother's Day, we walk with you. Mothering is not for the faint of heart, and we have real warriors in our midst today. We remember you. God bless you on Mother's Day. I love you.
Such a long way home from where you have been. And what will it take to bring you back again? And all your searching's brought you to this place. You cry for mercy and you long for grace. Feel the love, feel the light. Won't you come in from the cold? 'Cause all are welcome here. Feel the joy, feel the peace, and the comfort of home. 'Cause all are welcome here. Yes, all are welcome here. Can you hear the sound, the whisper in your soul that calls you back to where you belong? And all your searching's brought you to this place. You cry for mercy and you long for grace. Feel the love, feel the light. Won't you come in from the cold? 'Cause all are welcome here. Feel the joy, feel the peace, and the comfort of home. 'Cause all are welcome here. Yes, all are welcome here. Behold the love. Behold the light in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. In your mind, in your heart, in your soul. In your mind, in your heart, in your soul. And all your searching's brought you to this place. You cry for mercy and you long for grace. Feel the love, feel the light. Won't you come in from the cold? 'Cause all are welcome here. Feel the joy, feel the peace, and the comfort of home. 'Cause all are welcome here. Yes, all are welcome here. Here.
All Are Are Welcome Here, from the album Path of Light, was co-written by Peggy Lebo and Reverend Christian Sorensen. It's available at www.peggylebo.com.